Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad you're here today. For you returning viewers, you know this. For those of you who have never been here before, I talk, I knit, I sew, I crochet. I do a lot of other things, but those are my main four. And talking is the very first thing because that's what I do the most of. On here at least. I don't really talk a whole lot left now in my personal life. Because usually I'm kind of just being retrospective. Anyway, today I have a few different things going on. The only thing I don't have currently working on is crochet. I'm doing knitting. I'm doing sewing, a couple different sewing situations. So I'm going to get into that in just a minute. But, sorry y'all. I had some Brazil nuts right before I came on. Because it's late. I'm going to have to, start dinner after I get off the recording here. But we were out in town with my grandson and I forgot to have my snack. And so I had it when I got home and it consisted of Brazil nuts. It's supposed to consist of Brazil nuts, raisins, and an apple. But yeah, I just had the Brazil nuts because it is so close to dinner. Anyway, told you I like to talk. If you're new and you're still here, thank you. I appreciate you having faith that I will get to the subject sometime or another. All right. So the first thing I have is I finally finished my knit socks. This is Sugar Sake from Universal Yarns that I got off of Premier's website. And this one is Spun Sugar. This is 50% superwash merino, 25% bamboo, and 25% nylon. And these things were a dream. Some of the fuzz. They were a dream to work up. Now, I do love the way the color, and I don't know if the color is washing out for you or not, but it is just yummy chocolate or caramel look or coffee caramel chocolate, all those, all those different colors. But this was a 100-gram ball, and I have over half of it left. This is what I was saying. With 100 grams, and I don't have shorty socks. In fact, let me see if I can show you. Oop, Jeezy Pete. See, my socks are not short. I mean, they're not super tall either. They're not like mid-calf, but they come up pretty significantly. So, for me to be able to get two of these socks, two pairs out of a 100-gram ball, I'm totally happy. And I definitely am going to make another with this yarn so that I have a backup, because I tend to, let me put a full disclaimer in here, I only wear my hand knit socks anymore. I don't wear store-bought socks at all. So I'm rough on my socks, and hold on to your seats. I'm going to say something that's going to shock a lot of knitters. I wash my socks in the washing machine. I don't have time. I do have time. I just don't have the inclination to hand wash all my socks. Now, my hand knit shirts I have washed in the washing machine, but they're cotton. So doing one in wool, I may end up hand washing the top. I don't know. But for serviceability, you cannot beat a superwash merino for socks. And if they do tend to get a little fuzzy, what I do is I take one of those sweater shavers and I just shave all the fuzz off of it, and I'm good to go. Good to go. All right, I'm gonna show you two new bags I made. Of course, it's chickens. Both of these are chicken bags. But this is chicken with brown. The accent is the brown and white. Brown with white polka dots. I thought this was so blasted adorable. So this is chickens with coops. Chicken with coops. I mean, it's got all kind of different. I have hens. I have roosters. I have chicks. I have eggs. I mean, it's just adorable. I had fun with that one. Because, I mean, I have fun with most of the bags that I make. But the thing is, sometimes when one of these was just cut it as I wanted to, and another was I had to waste fabric to cut so that it would frame the panel, and that's coming. So this one was a real fun, easy make, super easy, no worries, and it has your typical white on white liner in it. Now these are available on the website. They may say custom order, but if you've seen it on here, I can't even say that, because sometimes when I show bags, someone may buy it off the website and I will have to make it the second one. So it might be available instantaneously, or I might have to make it. Just let you know. But I don't mind. I don't mind making a custom bag. Now this one right here, a while back I had made a custom order for Deb with some octopus fabric and some chicken fabric that she had sent me. Well, I was lucky enough to find the chicken fabric. And I got excited because quite a few of you loved that pattern, that fabric. So here it is. And this is what I was talking about, having to be conscious of how I cut the thing. Because they're two different ones. You can kind of see by the medallion right here in the middle. This one's like a brownie tan color, but the roosters are different on each side. And to do this, I do end up wasting a little bit of fabric. But I keep all my fabric scraps, so who knows? I may be able to, make some cute little quilt squares or something, or it's not enough for the bowl cozies unless I were to do an outline with something, but who knows? They could be pockets on a apron, or I don't know. But I always keep my scraps, because you just never know. Now, do you ever have those days to where things just aren't working right? That happened with me with these two bags. It took me twice as long to do them because nothing was working out right. The liner for this one actually is white on white flowers for this. But because I didn't have any more, I had two white on white vine liners pre-made. I have to go ahead and make up a bunch more now, but one of them, I had it attached to the bag, and I got all the way to the very end, and I noticed that I had more liner fabric, more inches left on the liner fabric than I did on the chicken fabric. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work. So I had to undo the whole entire thing. And then I picked up the second one and started doing it, and it wasn't fitting. So I think what I did is I just cut this fabric a little bit longer than I usually do, and that's why it wasn't fitting in with the liners. So I grabbed one of my my white on white flower ones, and I was able to get it just perfect. And so I sewed it in, and then I was already tired and it was late by that point. I mean, it's probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, and I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to touch the outside of the bag yet. I'm not even going to do the liner on the other chicken bag. So I had to take that back up in the next morning, because I just felt like when it's messing up that much, you just kind of you have to walk away or get too aggravated to do anything with it. Does that make sense? I know I'm not the only one. So, I mean, it happens with knitting and crochet too. So it just happened to be the sewing for this. But this is available. And just so you know, I have enough for 1 or 2 more bags in this color top and bottom. But if you want something different, reach out to me, because I do have other options. But I have enough. I bought enough for maybe 6 of these bags, because I grabbed as much as I could while I could. Let me tell you, that junk was not cheap either. These people think this stuff is made of gold. But, you know, that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother day. All right. Now, I have 2 more things I want to go over with y'all. I mean, not go over, share. I want to share with y'all. And I told you the last time that I was going to make me another dress. And I do want to make one. But this is the fabric that I want to make it out of. Because why the heck not? Look at them butterflies. Which I think it goes... Oops. Hold on. I think it goes like this. I honestly can't tell. It's so abstract. It could probably go either way. The rainbow design behind it is going this way. Like side to side when I hold it this way. And top to bottom when I hold it this way. But I'm just thinking of... Y'all know my yellow McCall's dress? The 7349. How pretty that is. I want to do this material in that pattern. And I think it's going to be beautiful. And it's a little heavier. I can't remember the composition of this fabric. I know it's a jersey knit. I mean, it's definitely a knit. And it feels like a 4-weight. Yeah, it's a 4-weight knit. Now, this one stretches a lot more than that one, but it is definitely a 4-way knit. The way it feels, it's slick on the outside, so I'm wondering if it has... Oh gosh, the inside is so soft. And this is going to be a good winter. I know the color doesn't mean winter, but this is like nice. That's going to be nice and warm against my skin in the winter. And when I say warm, I'm talking for our mild southern winters. But I'm excited to get started on this. Now, I don't know how fast I'm going to get going on this. Because I did see I saw another YouTuber, another sewist. She was doing a Empire waist McCall's dress, and it was, I can't remember her name right now. Anita, I think it was Anita. I don't remember her channel name at the moment, but I liked that kind of dress too, because that's a good, with it being an Empire waist, I mean, I'll have the seam up here and it'll be comfy, you know. But I also love the princess cut of the 7349. Let me see if I can remember which one that was. It should be in my history. Let's see. That way I can share her name too. Okay. It's McCall's 5893. And it's Anita by Design. So I was right. And she does like a step-by-step tutorial on how to do it. You just have to buy the pattern. I don't need the tutorial, but I wanted to watch her video to see if I would want to invest in the pattern, because that pattern, I don't know if anybody carries patterns anymore. I mean, Joanne was the only one that I knew carried patterns, unless I'm wrong. Y'all please educate me if I'm wrong. As far as carrying, big box stores carrying patterns. Now, I might be able to find it at a, even on Etsy, they're expensive. And when I say expensive, I'm just used to us having our patterns like $4.99, and then when they would have really big sales, it would be $1.99. So these patterns being $11, $12, $15, I'm like, that's crazy. Especially when I get the gist of it and I can alter a pattern I already have to basically be an empire waist with elastic and gathering and everything. So I don't know. I do want this in the princess cut of the 7349 though. I like the idea of that. And it's definitely a material. Like I said, I don't know the composition of the material itself, but it's going to be a nice winter one. I do wish I had a darker fabric. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm glad. Maybe I should be glad I don't. But y'all know that pretty bright color, even in the wintertime, I'd still do it. I don't mind, because I have. Actually, I got a couple more that I could probably use, and I have another yellow, but it's yellow with very small white polka dots spaced out pretty good. Now that one, if I make it, it'll probably be for more, spring, summer type to go along with my other one. Now we're going to get into when I made that Hobie order. I actually went back to Hobie because I wanted to see about getting some more. And the tariffs actually were not that bad. I had, I think, 6 balls of yarn in my cart, and I think the tariffs on that would have been $20. So that averaged a little more than $3 extra a ball. That's not that horrible for me. So for that small of an order. Now I thought it said get 50% off anything over 150, but that was for a special thing that they do in their lives. So it didn't cover this yarn. But I didn't know that at the time, so I had almost $200 worth of just the Bella Coco. And even then, the tariff only went up, I think, $52. And I had a lot in that cart. I want to say I had 23 balls. So that might have even been down to a couple dollars extra a ball. So it's not horrible. It's not great, but it's not horrible. But I decided against that when I found not old. Well, yeah, it depends on your perspective. 2019 is not that old to me. Back in 2019, when Hobby Lobby was having one of their clearances that I went to, I ended up getting Yarn Bee Authentic Hand Dyed Superwash Merino. And I only have 5 of these. But it went from $14.99 down to $3.74. So, of course, I got it. And this one is called Supernova. And I did do my gauge swatch. But look at how pretty those colors are. You see that? Look at that. Now, mark it on your calendars. Lynn does not do gauge swatches. If I do, I only do maybe an inch or two so I can kind of see. I've never done a full automatic gauge swatch. But I washed and blocked this as well. I obviously didn't block it on a blocking board or it wouldn't be curling, but I blocked it flat with my hand and left it in here to dry. And trust me, as hot as these days get, well, first I blotted it, to make sure that I got all the excess water out of it. But I love those colors. Y'all look at those colors. Now, I did decide on the Aria top. Now, let me see. I'm trying to pick on it. Yeah. Okay, so, and they used Cascade Yarn's Anchor Bay hand paint, which is a DK. So I knew my gauge. I could not get a fingering weight yarn up to DK unless I wanted to double the yarn. I didn't want to double the yarn with this. You see that pattern? I did not want to mess with those pretty colors. Now, in light of what I did do, I probably could get away with this, but I would still be using about the same amount of yarn. Actually, I would be using more if I doubled the 2 fingering weights, because it would take up, I don't know. I just said that and I thought about how stupid that sounds. So if I were to hold it double, I would still use the same amount as if I just held it single, right? I think. I don't know. My brain's fried, y'all. It's like I said, it's late. I mean, it's at 5 o'clock. But I did a conversion to where if I do one size up on their chart with fingering weight, I should get my bust size. Now, they're using a, what did I say? I think it was a 6-inch, no, a 4-inch positive ease. And I'm good with that. I mean, y'all see that I like I do favor, especially when I go to town, I favor things that are bigger. But it'll be a good gauge, because I don't think this will be the only time that I make this pattern, because I love the raglan sleeves. And if I can make this work in this, I know that I can do that. This is so soft, y'all. I'm not kidding. This is like, it's super soft to my hands. And it's not bad on my skin. Yeah, see, I don't feel any irritation. So, I use Superwash Merino on my feet all the time. But we know with my peripheral neuropathy that I don't have a problem. Let me show you. I can't put my thing, but it's this one right here. That's the Aria. Now, I did, like I said, I went with the larger size, one size up, because the way my gauge hit with this. And I had to cake this up because these came in hank forms. But I'm also using my Bella Coco yarn in cream. And I also I'm just sorry. I'm kind of discombobulated, y'all, because it is so late. So I looked at this, and both, I can't remember the names of them now. One was something bloom or blossom, and the other was berry something. This was the bloom and this was the berry. That's all I can remember. But either one, especially the one with that bright, that beautiful pink right there, but then the different shades of pink, if you can see them, they're at the tail end of the super bright, actually matches really, really well with this. So I have all of these. I don't know that I'm going to put them in together yet. The problem with trying to be able to do... Why is this thing coming apart here? The problem with doing it this way is I don't know how much yardage I'm going to need. I looked at several different things, and you know, some places were saying that you'll need to double when you'll have to double the amount of skeins you need, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to need double, because for that extra large, for the extra sizing, because they don't mark it as small, medium, large, and extra large on this. They just go by bust circumference. So my normal bust circumference is a 40. That's with no ease, negative or positive. That's just what my bust is. So on this one, I was going to do a 42-inch bust, which finishes up as a 46-inch after it's done with positive ease. And then I thought, okay, that's not horrible. That's 6 inches. That'll give me 6 inches of positive ease, right? No. It'll still give me 4 inches. No. It would give me, since mine's not a 42, since mine's a 40, it would give me 6 inches of positive ease. So with this being a smaller yarn, I'm going to go with the 46 bust, which will end up being a 50 if I were to use DK weight. So it should, in theory, turn out to be a 46-inch finished garment to match me. I hope. If I did my calculations right. I don't know. I have done... I mean, you would think, because DK is supposed to be twice as thick as fingering, so you would think that the theory of doubling your yardage would be right. I don't know. But either way, I have 5 of these, and with that bigger size, it says I need 5 balls. 5 balls. So if I have to double it, I need 10. Well, I have 5 of these. I have these 2. And then I have 4 of these. So I have plenty of yarn. It's just figuring out how I want these to go. So what I thought about doing, and y'all give me some feedback, because, you know, I value your feedback immensely. What I thought about doing, actually I'm going to do this so I can see how I'm showing you. Alright, I thought about starting up here with this cream and just doing, you know, maybe I was going to come all the way down to the V with the cream and then pick up the Supernova. And some of that would come out to my sleeves. The only problem with doing it that way is it would end up, the stripes would end up differently going around those sleeves. So should I do one of these for the sleeves and then hold this till later in the shirt? I mean, to me it seems like this needs to be closer to this. So that's when I said maybe I should do about midways to the center of the V with the cream, and then do the Supernova across the bust. And then as it splits for the arms, that's when it would change the gauge on here, and it would make the stripes not work with the Supernova. So then should I do the 2 pinks after that, like toward the bottom of the body? If that didn't confuse you, I would love your opinion. Because I don't know how it's going to work, and I don't want to get that far down in my shirt only to figure out, oh, this isn't going to work. Do you know what I just thought of? How pretty would that be as a shirt? I know it's not my normal color, but a nice winter shirt, that would look cool. Yeah, that would look cool. Okay. That just caught my mind because I happened to look over there. But I can get that. That Premier carries that all the time. So I really am unsure because I don't know how much of each of these I'm going to need. I don't know how to do it. Now, if I had been able to have a lot more of these, I would have stayed with just this. Or I would have went with this and this. As it is, I would have 9 balls. And these are almost the same. It looks thicker, the Hobie. But when you pull it tight, it is definitely the same gauge. And the ball band says they're the same. In fact, did I put the ball? Nope, I didn't put the ball band in my bag. See, since we're doing football season, definitely have my Bulldog bag. Now, the Yarn Bee is... Oh, well, I'm not using that, so that really doesn't count. Oh, you know what? I just thought about something. I'm using a 3.5 inch needle. So this one, it doesn't call for, it calls for a 3mm needle. So, but I don't need that since I already have my gauge figured out and I wrote it down. So with the 3.5mm needle, I'm getting 28 stitches by 36 rows. Okay. This one recommends you use a 3.5mm for the Hobie Bella Coco. And it is 27 stitches by 35 rows. So literally one number different. One tick different on each one. So I was like, this is perfect. I can use these two together. So I had thought about just doing these two things. I would love feedback. Because if I did that, I could probably go, and I would want this on the top because I have a feeling this would help camouflage any stains or anything. And it's cream, it's white. You know, I don't want to get it stained up, but this would camouflage it. So anything from chest or bust down, I would prefer to have it this way. And I thought, okay, well, I could do, honestly, I could do all the way to the split in the cream and do the entire sleeves in cream and then pick it up with this Supernova. What do y'all think? I tried getting y'all's opinions on my post the other day about some bags. If y'all could go look at the post and give me your opinion on that, I would love it. Because right now, I don't think anybody's seen it. But, I mean, I've got a few thumbs up. But I don't think anybody's really... I do want y'all's opinion. But I thought about putting this on there for that, just to kind of give y'all or to get y'all's opinions and say, look, you know, I need help, y'all. I'm struggling. But I was too scared that I wouldn't get to see your replies because, you know, a lot of times people don't see those posts. And that's part of what it is. But I would love your feedback. All 4 colors? If so, kind of how should I do it? Or stick with these 2 colors? I don't know. They're all of the options are on the table. I'm not excluding anything at this moment because I definitely want to, and I did get it started. I think I'm like 3 rows. I'm still in the setup stages for the raglan. And it's so funny because I'm sitting here struggling trying to find the correct size. And I forgot about my Chiagu interchangeable set. So I told my daughter-in-law today, I'm like, I'm such a Nimrod. I wasn't thinking. I just was plowing through. But my mind wasn't really very cohesive this morning. And still hasn't gotten very cohesive. I think it's because I haven't had any caffeine today. And I really should. I really should have some caffeine sometime. But since I started that new meal plan, I haven't been, you know, I don't want to start my day off with Mountain Dew with my caffeine because it's junk. It's junk. I love my Mountain Dews, but it's junk. So I don't want to skew any results I might be getting from my menu plan to, you know, because I can't do without my morning caffeine. So these sparkling ices actually have a caffeine version. So I bought some of those and I have drank them. I mean, because they're 5 calories. Basically, there is preservatives in here. Of course, there's preservatives. But it's got a lot of nutrients in it. Some vitamins in it, too. So, I'm hoping that might counteract the caffeine. Because I tried not doing caffeine. I'm 17 days in on this meal plan. And I want to say for probably the first 7 to 10 days, I didn't have any caffeine. And I was dragging. I really was. And I said, you know, it won't hurt. I don't think it'll hurt for me to do the caffeine. So if y'all haven't figured out, I am done. I don't have any more to show you. I was just talking. Now I did talk about once doing the Dresser Girl, and I think I'm gonna pass on doing that this year because it's actually going into effect. Tina emailed me and she says with Mari, because they are 2 separate, I think they're 2 separate entities. I didn't give y'all the link. Mari doesn't really have a website, I don't think. I could be wrong. I did give you a link to her YouTube though. But it's going from, Project Dresser Girl is going from September 1st to September 30th. I don't have time right now to get, because the people that I reached out to was actually on the other site and nobody's gotten back with me yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I think what I might do is make some dresses throughout the year and go that way. See if I can't figure out by the time next year rolls around, or even get a hold of some of my local ambassadors from the other site to see how I need to do things, because it depends on what region you're sending them to, what country you're sending, you know, they're sending them to, as to which style dresses, you know, because you don't want to send something that is warm weather to Iceland and Greenland and all that, and you don't want to send something that is cool weather down to Africa, and you know, so I don't know. Even North and South America. I mean, yeah. So North and South in North America. Get my words right here in a minute. And I feel kind of let down that I'm not doing that. But I am working on the blankets for Red Cross and my word just went poof. Salvation Army. I'm still working on the squares for those to you know, get rid of to use up all my scraps and put them all together in blankets. If you have a quick and easy other than corner to corner, because I know those, granny squares, beautiful shells is quick at the beginning, but it doesn't stay quick. Trying to think of some of the even my go-tos are kind of like in my head right now. But if you have any, you know, quick and easy, think throw size. That's what I'm going for. Because it's easier, and I think what I'm going to do is a larger throw size for adults and then smaller ones for children, because that's kind of what they did for us. But now, that one ended up being huge over time. I mean, it stretched across the top of my bed. So I can't argue with that. But yeah, throw some patterns at me. Even if I don't use them, I'd still like some inspiration. Because there's only so many times you can do a corner to corner or granny squares without getting bored. I know it's good mindless stuff. But, and I wouldn't even mind. I do the block stitch, you know, or the brick stitch, however you, I think it's the block stitch, where you do your double crochets and then you do a row of chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, and then you do the blocks. Yeah, I've done that. I like that. Because I like that because I can use like a white or black in those chain rows to kind of accent, you know, to pop, just add a little bit of pop of color. But I would like to get something other than just the granny squares, or maybe something after those. And I know there's a ton of patterns out there, and sometimes I am pattern lazy, because I know y'all know what I'm talking about. If you go looking for a pattern and you end up going, oh, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool, and then you are in a rabbit hole. You literally have gone, and 3 hours later, and there's so many options, you're like, oh, now what do I do? So that's kind of where I'm at. But I have a lot of acrylic that I can use to make these blankets with. And I honestly need to get rid of some of my stash, because I want everything to fit into this room. Right now it's not. Now I did add 6 cube shelf, 2 more 6 cube shelves in my room. One at the end of my work table, and then one at this other end here. So, but I do have yarn other places. So I need to use some, either what's in here and bring the other stuff in, or just use the other stuff, because I've got yarn. Now we're not going to talk about all the cotton yarn I have. I have so much cotton yarn. Oh my gosh. I'm going to use it, and I even thought about, I was watching a little fella called Lucas from Lucas Yarns. Sweetheart of a little fella. And I say little fella, but you know, I mean, he's probably 30s, 40s. So I don't know. I haven't seen it. He hasn't posted on YouTube in a while, but he was doing, you know, I think it was like community kitchen something. I can't remember the exact verbiage he used, but I'm imagining it was like the little blessing boxes, to where he would do soap sacks and put soap in there, and then did some washcloths for that. And he was thinking about doing hats for some of them too. And I don't remember, you know, I haven't seen any updates, so I don't know how he's doing with that. But I even thought about doing something like that. Maybe not for because the blessing boxes around my town, I don't know that they're very well done. People are leaving great stuff, but every time I go to several different ones to drop off some more food and whatnot to put in them, they're in shambles. And so I'm kind of like, are kids going messing with stuff, or people that are using them are just, I mean, open packages of cookies or open loaf of bread, you know? And I'm thinking, so I don't know about doing that, but I did think about doing that for maybe Red Cross and Salvation Army as well, along with the blankets, to do like rags or some kind of toiletry type thing, like the soap sacks or soap and wash rags, you know. It's that way I can use a lot of my cotton yarn. That's what spurred all of that whole situation right there. That it spurred that rabbit hole. Sorry. Because I'm not being very articulate today. I'm sorry. Today's just a day. But I got a lot going on here, so I was hoping that I could get this recorded so my son could edit it. He is going out of town for a couple days, so he wanted to go ahead and see if I could get this recorded so he could edit it. And I said, that's fine. I would have rather waited till tomorrow, but that's okay. It's not a bad thing to go ahead and buckle down and get to work. So if that's frustrating y'all, I do apologize, because it's frustrating me, and I'm the one sitting here talking to you. So if I'm frustrated, I know you must be frustrated. Anyway, moving on. So I covered the Dress-A-Girl. I covered the charity stuff that I do want to get done within the next couple months, because if I can have a few blankets ready before Christmas, and that leaves me September, October, November, December. So just shy of 4 months, I should be able to get 4 throw size. Because I think what I might do is 2 adult throws and then 2 children throws, or 2, not baby throws, but you know, smaller throws, to where if they're like a year old, excuse me, a couple years old, you know, they can use that throw blanket for a couple years. Now, the boys were 5. Well, we lost our house 10 days before they turned 5. So, they used their blankets for about 2 or 3 years. But my boys, they are 6. They're grown men now. They're 27, and they're 6'3" and 6'4". So, even at 10 days before they're 5 years old, they were tall. But they still used them, even when they, you know, the coverage of the blanket kind of kept going down to almost their hips. Yeah. Because I want to say, I have their growth charts on the wall from the time they were 5 until now. Well, actually, no, I take that back. I think I stopped when they were 18, maybe. No, I didn't. Because the last measurement I have on my wall, they were 5'9". So I want to say they were probably 15, 16. Yeah. Before they just kind of rolled their eyes. Mom, I don't want to do this anymore. It's like, okay, I got you. I'll back off. You know, I'll do it. But anyway, so I'm hoping that I can get at least 4 of those done by that time. If not, never fear. I have pre-made blankets because back when the cataracts first started on my eyes, it scared me. And I knew my vision was going. I didn't know it was cataract at the time. I did not know that I had cataracts. But I was scared I was going to lose my vision. So I pre-made a lot of blankets because I didn't know how much longer I could crochet. And I know blind people, or legally blind people, that can still crochet. Well, I can't because I can't feel my fingers. So I was in this all-fired rush to get my future grandbabies some blankets made. And the irony of that is, I had all those done, and when my daughter-in-law got pregnant with my grandson, I made him 3 new blankets. 3 new blankets. And I'm thinking, why did I pre-make blankets? I mean, I know why I pre-made them, but I didn't use them. So I have baby blankets pre-made. I have throws. I want to say almost maybe a twin size blanket made. So I have some. If I don't get any made, if I don't hit at least 4, I will be donating 4, regardless, right before Christmas. Sorry, I figured I'd go ahead and finish that off. But, because, let's face it, a lot of house fires. Now, my house fire didn't happen until January. It had nothing to do with Christmas trees. But, a lot, during the holiday season, so many houses catch fire and burn down near Christmas. So, I want to have at least these ready by Christmas so that I can donate them probably a week or 2 before Christmas. Maybe I might shoot for the beginning of December, because some people put their trees up that early. I am not one of them because I use live trees, so I don't put mine up till the second week, sometimes easing into the 3rd, depending, you know. I've tried to convince my husband, let's go artificial now since the boys are grown. But he is a man slow to change. So I don't know if that's going to be possible. But anyway, I have ran on at the mouth long enough. I'm going to get off here. I hope today you can find some joy in something. Mine was actually, I was in a very foul mood this morning. And hanging out with my grandson definitely lifted my spirits. So, not everybody has that opportunity. So, try to grab it wherever you can grab it. And just hold on to it. Enjoy the feeling. Even if that means going in there and cuddling some really, really soft, nice yarn. And just, you know. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, night, morning, whenever you get a chance to watch this video. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.